My family's history can be traced back to 1746 when Andrew and John Malcolm fought in the Battle of Culloden. This short but significant religious war was the last battle fought in Britain. Andrew's son Archibald moved to Canada with his wife Elizabeth in 1831. This was when the largest group of Scottish settlers arrived in Canada. High unemployment in Scotland and the offer of free land in Canada was what brought these farmers into new country. Clearing land and building shelter was the first big job they had to do when they arrived. The Malcolm House near Brome is now federally owned and is a heritage site. The Ellicott family lived in England and had a large estate of around 1,000 acres. Silk cloth was being introduced from France, and the Ellicotts used their farm for their investment in silkworms. The new business venture did not work out. They lost their estate. It is guessed that the worms did not have the proper diet. It was a difficult time for the Ellicott family, as they were used to running an estate and not doing trades or difficult labor. Joseph Ellicott became a wheelwright in Devon, England, where he built and repaired wooden wheels. He married Susan, who was a dressmaker, in 1838. Why did Joseph leave England? Well, Joseph was a Bible Christian. His religious beliefs could be one of the reasons he decided to leave England for Canada. The Bible Christian Church began in the south of England around 1815. They were persecuted for their beliefs and had a hard time getting help if they were poor or sick. In 1842, Joseph Ellicott left his wife and 2 young children to sail to Canada. He arrived in Toronto with no money and worked to build carriages and wheels to raise funds to allow his wife and children to join him. In 1834, he sent enough money for Susan, the kids, and her parents so they could sail to Canada. What was a challenge coming to Canada? Well, Susan's ship had to return to England because of a storm. After 2 weeks at sea, her ship went back to port to remove all the water it took in. It took her 6 weeks to arrive in Canada. She was very seasick and got off in Montreal instead of going all the way to Toronto. Joseph and Susan bought a farm with her parents on Brock Street in Pickering. Members of the Ellicott family still lived there until 1950. Susan was not happy with the conditions she found in Canada. Transportation was difficult and she had a tiny home. They worked hard and built a stone house that is still standing today. Because they were settlers, my family worked hard when they arrived. They had little money, so they had to clear land, build homes, and make new life. They worked hard with friends and neighbors to build barns and homes because it was such a big job. What historical moments have affected my family? Well, in 1940, my great-grandfather owned a farm and was exempt from going to war. He worked in the munitions factory in Ajax to support the soldiers. His 3 brothers did fight during World War II. My great-great-uncle Walter was killed. In 1944, he was hit by a shrapnel while fighting in Normandy, and is buried at the Canadian Cemetery in France. My grandfather was a commando in the Canadian Army. This was a specially trained unit that did not fight in the war, but was sent to do secretive missions that he still doesn't talk much about today. In 1983, my dad installed solar panels on the roof of the CN Tower. At the time, it was the world's tallest structure. The top of the rim of the CN Tower was 350 meters above Toronto, so working on the top of it was difficult for my father, who is afraid of heights. After looking into my family's history, I have learned that religion and agriculture have been a big part of it. Although not one person has stood out in making a significant historical, economic, social, or cultural contribution, they have all worked diligently and witnessed all the changes that have occurred in our country. Without their dedication, I would not be where I am today. The story continues.